welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Sure did. And Grenada.
They kept saying Grenada.
Oh, they did.
Which is weird because last week they were Grenada. And so I was calling Grenada. Now they're calling Grenada. We looked it up online. It says Grenada.
Yeah.
I think it's interchangeable.
I'm going with the AI. It's Grenada.
The AI pronunciation.
Yes.
So, well, thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. If you're just finding us, we are two husbands married to each other. And we watch Housewives. And we try to talk about the show. We don't recap. We try not to recap because we assume you've watched the show with us. So thanks for watching the show. And then we just kind of go over how we feel about what happened. And I think if you listen to last week's episode, we really, I don't think
spiraled and like random.
I don't think we dragged Drew very much, but we weren't very kind to Drew.
No, we kind of just like went on like it was like a Drew-pocalypse.
A Drew tangent.
Drew tangent.
So
Drew Nokia.
Yeah.
No.
So this episode, there was a moment where I was like, oh, that's what I want from her. So I could see the difference.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. There was a small moment, but then she turned and flipped it off and then was not what I wanted. But
oh, yeah. I remember you saying that. Yeah.
So, so do we want to start the episode by saying a couple nice things about Drew?
I have three nice things about Drew. It's the of course, the
housewife trifecta.
The universal. She's a great mom. She's pretty, and she's a great singer.
Oh, really? You're gonna go with great singer?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I'll have three, but I'll say she really likes blue sequins.
Yeah.
I feel, and no shade, I had to look it up. I felt like what she was wearing in Grenada, like I'd seen it before somewhere, but very similar thing, but she looks good in it. She's very pretty. She can rock a high pony.
She can rock a high pony.
Or whatever that was.
It was.
Her hair wasn't a full-on ponytail. But,
half up, half down.
Yeah, it was definitely that. And, she was in...
Was there three?
She was in Step Up.
Yes. I don't recall that. I haven't seen Step Up in so long, so...
She was billed 6th, according to IMDb. So, she was in that. I feel like we should watch that sometime.
Totally.
Just to see Drew...
That's Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan, formerly Tatum.
Yes, exactly.
Now,
yeah. So, but yeah, if you'd asked me, was Drew Sidora in that? I'd been like, who? What? And what?
I wouldn't have thought.
I wouldn't have known. But yeah, I also
in my mind confused it with like Center Stage.
Thank you. I was about to say the same thing because they came out around the same time, and when
early 2000s.
Yeah, one was the I think Step Up to the Streets was the hip hop answer to the original Step Up, but I don't know. Maybe Step Up was hip hop.
It was always hip hop. I think Center Stage was more.
That was the ballet,
but like it incorporated some other stuff, and it has future Oscar winner Zoe Saldana.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yes,
that's right.
Center Stage, yeah.
I had my friends and I. We used to. First off, I used to have a great T-shirt that they gave us at the movie theater for Center Stage. It was a ringer tee. It fit like a glove. It was great. I loved it. I think Nick has it, or he wore it to death, and now anyway. I wish I still had that shirt. I love it. Yeah. But then the other thing is we would always quote that from the trailer. There was like, "Are you seeing someone? I see somebody, but she doesn't know that I see her." And it was just really horrible.
That's a lie.
Trailer. But anyway,
should we do a back-to-back like Center Stage Step Up movie night?
I don't know that we can survive that. I think we're
lacking things to watch recently, so.
Well, it's just because we're too damn picky about what shows to watch, and we want to watch like a thriller, but not any thriller, so we end up watching that thriller Awake.
Oh my gosh, that was not good.
Is that from 2019?
That's 2021.
2021? Yeah, that's what it was. Save yourselves the trouble if you're looking for a thriller. It wasn't a horrible movie, but they jump right to the point where no one can fall asleep. And so that makes them all go crazy. And they didn't really drive that point home. It was all of a sudden, we're all crazy because we haven't slept.
One little girl can sleep, the main character's daughter. And it's about like saving the little girl because everyone like flips really quickly. It's like basically these people haven't slept for like, I'm going to say 12 hours. Like they pulled an all-nighter in college. The equivalent. And then they're like, I'm going crazy. And they're going to church and they're talking about Jesus. And like, I'm like, no.
There was clearly some editing that took out like some time passing from that, and I think, I really.
It's like a Netflix production. I had never heard of this movie before.
Yeah,
normally they hype the shit out of their stuff. Not Awake. not awake.
Yeah. But Atlanta, the Real Housewives of.
So it starts out with they are gathering supplies to help the hurricane victims in Grenada, and they being Kelly and Shamia have like orchestrated this, and everyone has dropped off stuff or donated or whatever, and then they like editing really calls out Britt that she brings a little box with like some wipes and like some toilet paper.
I was trying to Google what the numbers on the side of the box. I was trying to figure out like what that box was actually like a case of at one point. But then when they started pulling random stuff out, I'm like, clearly it's just a box she got from Costco or something. Like,
and then she's like, "Oh, my friend is gonna like bring some stuff," and like
they're like, "Well, you better hurry. They're coming in and out."
They're shipping it off to the Grenada like in a second. And I love how Shamia's like, "Oh, I get it. This box is like bare naked." Also, by the way, Bare Naked, aside from being very close to Go Naked, Bare Naked was the name of a Jennifer Love Hewitt song in the late 90s.
Was it in Step Up?
No, it was, because she used to have a singing career.
Yeah.
Yes. At one point, she was just like Love Hewitt, but then anyways. So,
you know more about Jennifer Love Hewitt than I think.
I used to be really down with Jennifer Love Hewitt, yes.
My friend Justin, who worked at the movie theater, he was really into Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah. I watched like her spinoff of Party of Five, which was not good. I had her album. I didn't watch the one where she was the psychic.
Oh, wasn't that Medium? No.
Medium, yes.
Was that Medium? Or was Medium the Arquette show?
That was for sure Arquette. Oh, it was the other one where she was
Yeah, we'll have to look.
It was like a CBS show.
Yeah, my mom loved that show, I think. My mom watched it.
It lasted a few seasons.
It did. Oh, it definitely did. Yeah.
And I've never watched her on 911, that show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was on there.
She's on there. She's like the main operator person.
The smooth operator?
Not smooth.
She's not Sade.
She's not Sade.
Yes. I'm wondering now if Shamia accidentally put her luggage in the donation pile. And that's how it got to Grenada.
I loved that because it's like, that's why I don't check a bag. That's why I'm checking back. And if you're also, obviously she brought something in her carry-on, but also like Shamia's like rich. She could like be like, PA, please go buy me some underwear. But I do not check a bag, and there's always that opportunity, the possibility that you're going to make you check your bag. So you got to put some underwear in like your backpack. Because I always have my backpack. And
the thing is, when they make you check your bag, like if they gate check your bag, that you at least know it's getting on the plane. Like they're gonna put it under the plane right then and there.
Right. So I still don't trust. I've had bags lost twice, never to be seen again.
Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
Oh.
We might have to edit this out if I remember. Oh God, I don't want to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze.
Bless you.
Woo, it's
not too bad.
Not too
like
bad.
6.
I had to stop counting. Nothing like having bright, shiny lights in your face.
He'll do it.
Sneeze.
Won't he do it?
He will. So they had, other than the donation scene, they did their traditional "we're packing" scene.
Right. Pack your Bible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Pack your Bible. That tiny Bible isn't going to help any of those ways. Right. They need like a giant Bible, like a suitcase-sized Bible. I asked you this when they went to the airport. Could you imagine traveling with a housewife?
No.
Or with anyone that like brings 4 bags? Like
no.
They're going to be there at most 5 days. Right. So some women were like bringing a bag per day. Like what? I mean, everyone overpacks to an extent.
Also, too, no shade. Your outfits are so teeny tiny. Like, can't they all fit in one suitcase?
Well, that's the one thing I try to keep in mind, especially when you're going somewhere that's like, beachy and hot. Like, even if I were to bring like a shirt like this to a tropical environment, I'm probably going to either be shirtless or wearing a tank top the entire time.
Right. Or, you sort of roll it up and then you iron it when you get there.
Yeah,
or steam it or whatever.
I still do when we win the lottery, which we
need to.
When we do, we got to stop losing the lottery. We'll start winning it instead. Yeah. I want to travel like Diana from Beverly Hills, where her assistant have her. Like, I want to get to my hotel and have all my stuff already there, like that. Just once. I don't know that I would want to. Well, I don't know that I'd want to have a. I don't know, how much lottery do you think you'd win before you had like a personal assistant.
You need someone to like keep your affairs in order. So it's a good lottery winning that you have a PA, because that's a salaried person.
Yeah.
During your life,
I'm just wondering what sort of affairs do you think we're going to have if we win the lottery?
I don't know, but we're going to have them.
All right. We'll think about that.
There's a lot of to maintain the household. You need like a chief of staff. That's like chief of staff, PA. It's all wrapped up in one person.
Wow,
I thought of these things.
We're upgrading houses like 20-fold if we're going to need a chief of staff to maintain the household. Wow.
We will.
All right. Well, then I look forward to winning the lottery.
Same. Before we get to Granada, we have the Kelly scene where she is talking about her ex.
Oh yeah,
who she has a bad relationship with, and like he doesn't want to co-parent with her or parent at all, which is sad.
Right.
So.
And then Uncle Lamont was going to take the kids to school on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
That was really nice to see her say, like, I'm not going to be there on the first day, and like actually, not clear it with her kids, but just let them know,
Right. Like I'm going to look out for you to make sure you guys are fine. And
exactly.
Yes. So yeah, they get there. Shamiya has no bags. They get to. I guess they were nice suites.
Yeah.
It was like a compound situation.
Yeah, it was like a villa with then some suites around
right.
it.
I like when it's a big house. I don't like when they're separated. Like, I want everyone in the same house.
Yeah.
Like the first Ultimate Girls trip when they're all that great house.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
That was great.
There was a little misleading when they started saying that, like, oh, you're going to be a roommate situation.
Yeah,
it's not roommate. They're not sharing a room. They're sharing a hotel. I guess you're sharing a hotel room.
But they are like, you can close the door to your room,
right?
And in some cases, you have your own bathroom.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're like sorority sisters.
Yeah, I thought it would be like 2 double beds and each one, but no, very nice. It looked a lot. It looked pretty.
Looks very pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah,
my first impression of Granada ever. In like my own 2 eyes, real lives. I was like, okay, this looks nice.
I love that Cynthia's like, oh look, there's a boat. Think you're going to go on a boat? It's a housewives trip, Cynthia. Of course you're going on a boat.
Yeah. Like, oh look, do you think there's a sound bath too?
I really hope there's no drama on this trip, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. God,
let's leave that in Atlanta
with Shamiya's luggage.
Right. Oh, we forgot the Drew Portia 15-minute sit down.
Oh, we did forget about that because
it's so forgettable.
It was forgettable.
We didn't know like what happened. She just like left the table.
Well, so again,
she's dumb. I love you, Portia, but like just stay, have the whatever with this chick, and move on. It's dumb.
It seemed to me that you lived your life like a candle in the wind. Sorry, no. Sorry. It's so rare that you say it seemed to me that every time you do say it, I think you have to follow it up with candle in the wind lyrics.
What?
It seemed...
Which version?
I said candle in the wind, not English rose.
Sorry, I scratched
you. Yeah, you did scratch me.
England's rose.
Sorry.
England's rose.
So, no, it seems to me that like Portia just got pissed off that Drew refused to admit that they're like... to truly admit that there was a rumor that she and Dennis were sleeping together or like seen at the club wearing matching outfits, things like that. And that's where it just seemed like Portia was like, well, you're not going to take this seriously. But then what bugged me about it was that Drew turned around and was like, because Portia stormed off, Drew was like, well, you're not going to take this seriously if you're just going to get up and walk out of here. And like totally invalidated any progress that they made. Because, I mean, honestly, in that situation, I'm a little bit more on Portia's side because you can't have a conversation with someone who refuses to admit the truths of the conversation, whether they're the actual truths of real life, but like they're things that, existed. There was a rumor that Drew and Dennis were seen at the club canoodling, doing stuff.
So you're saying that Drew didn't do enough to
acknowledge that was, that's a thing that needed to be addressed. She's like, she made some reference that like, oh, we know that's not true. And it's like, but what isn't true? Like they didn't really say it and she wouldn't say it. And then it just seemed that like right from then and there, like Portia was like, well, if you're not going to admit that that was something that was going around, then and you were, seeing someone else, why don't you say you're seeing that person?
Well, Portia is basically saying that like you're seeing somebody else, but you wanted the attention from dating Dennis and being with housewives and whatever, and you wanted that use that to promote your song or whatever, and you but it was affecting me because like that's my baby daddy.
Right.
And okay, I see that point. I didn't quite get where she was going with that, but now I understand.
But I agree, Portia shouldn't have just stormed off, because then it makes it seem like Drew's the bigger person in that
And
case.
she's giving it more air.
Exactly.
Yes.
And Drew wasn't the bigger person in that situation.
No.
So, where I really thought Drew was like, where I thought there was some sort of I don't even know the
Disconnect?
word. No, I would say genuineness was when Cynthia and Drew were sitting down on the balcony, and Cynthia started saying like, well, you're seeing someone, like you're getting a divorce, like you have someone in your life that's other than Ralph, and Drew kind of admitted, well, yeah, I have a friend, but then Cynthia was just trying to be kind of housewife, kind of messy and be like, yeah, the friend with benefits, right? Like, and try and steer the conversation towards something sexy and then she's like, no, just a friend. Like, and that's, again, just right then and there when Drew flipped from like admitting that she did have something going on in her life that was actually real. She turns around and tries to downplay it. Like, oh, no, not a friend with benefits. It's not what it is. Even though she full well walked into that conversation kind of going, yeah, I got somebody, and playing along and like being. And I think that was probably the only genuine thing I've seen out of Drew this season.
But I was saying to you, I can see why she wants to downplay it, because she doesn't want to appear to be dating, given that Ralph is so petty and would use it against her, and
then get off a reality show.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing everyone's screaming about Kyle about on Beverly Hills.
Oh, right. But Kyle's Kyle.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. So it's the sort of thing that, I don't know. I like that Drew, for a moment there, she like actually seemed to be sharing something real that wasn't about Ralph or wasn't about Dennis or something that she's produced or manufactured herself. So,
right. Okay.
But yeah, so that was disappointing. But
okay, I see your point there. I see your point.
And then Cynthia's boob popped out. Not at the same sitting. But
hey, hello, it's me. I am the booby. It's me.
What are your thoughts on Phaedra being back? We touched on it last week.
Yes.
That, like, it doesn't seem necessary for her to be back. Like, what is she really adding to the group?
She's funny. I mean, the dig at Angela was like just really kind of mean. Angela, I think, is very pretty, and like I don't know her age. I don't really care. So I don't think that like she is an old-looking young person that Phaedra tried to say. That was a little too catty.
But we've also said that she kind of gives auntie energy.
Yes, and again, I don't know her age. I think she's like wiped it from the internet. Maybe Andy will get to it at the reunion, but like I think she looks good. I mean,
she should give Heather Gay advice on how to wipe the age from the internet. Not even the producers know my age.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry.
I don't think she says it like in her book.
Anyway.
But yeah, but overall, I'm just like, I'm fine with Phaedra. I don't think it was necessary. The producers thought otherwise. I wish we could turn back time and just,
you could find a way.
Keep Kenya and, and not have Britt. I just don't think Britt should have been cast. I'm going to say it.
But now that she's here, though.
Yeah, I don't want her. I'm not advocating. I never advocate for anyone being fired. But I don't think Britt should have been cast from the get-go. Because, honestly, if the Kenya thing hadn't happened, what would she talk about? I don't care about her family situation. I'm not saying I'm not being heartless about it. I just don't care.
Right.
I don't care about her husband who does not want to be in the show. Her dog's cute, whatever. Her shapewear, whatever. It's not a thing. Like, the party was such bullshit. And the fact that she was like, my party planner, I'm like, no. You had no plan for this party.
Right.
You had no vision. You did it all wrong. And that's on you, because it starts with you, and then you dictate your vision to the party planner, and you had no vision.
Yeah, it did seem,
because it was bullshit.
Yeah, it did seem a little like of a cop out for her to be able to be like, oh, my party planner didn't drop the ball, totally dropped the ball. Like,
and like, there's no food for every. Like, it was just. I love how Shimia brought it up too. It's just really Ricky Ticky Tacky.
Yeah.
Like, everything about her just like bugs.
And so
I don't.
And was she the one that came for Phaedra at the dinner?
Didn't even come for her, like, just brought some random shit up. Like, Apollo and his wife were invited to my event, and Phaedra's like, I don't care. Yeah. That's not my husband.
Yeah.
Like, she just wanted to be included because she had no beef. Again, she has no storyline. She's a nothing burger. No, that's mean. She's not a nothing burger. I just don't think there's much depth to her. And I don't understand like why she's on the show.
Yeah.
Why she got cast. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So maybe she can improve and get better and get another season. But for now, I'm like, I don't get why you're here.
Yeah, she's not really bringing much. I mean, Kelly is definitely, for her first
Kelly's
year,
great.
She's everywhere. And then again, she's interacting with the different ladies.
Yeah, she's connected to everybody. She's making an effort. She wants peace in a housewife way. Like she's just she has good energy.
Yeah.
And, I think she's fun. And there's nothing fun about Britt.
So far, yeah.
Rose husband.
Rose, jeez. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what else is going on. Oh, so at the dinner they ended up. I mean, that's what we're just getting to. They're trying to squash the beef between originally Drew and Shamia, which is a weird place to start.
Which went nowhere. It's like you're a lapdog. No, I'm not. I think, yeah.
See, and that bugs me too. I call her lapdog. She was the one who was barking at dinner, and it's like, she was barking because you were calling her a lapdog.
Lapdog, cause, effect.
Yeah.
Well, also too, like we didn't think you would take that back to Portia. You were talking about Portia's child and saying that you're going to pay for her college, which you somehow have forgotten you said, Drew. It's on tape. Everyone saw it. Like, of course she's going to tell Portia, because if she didn't, she looked like a shitty friend. Like, duh.
Yeah. And then I liked Angela for a quick moment was trying to
pivot to like Shimmy and Portia, and Portia's like, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
We already solved that. Which is, I don't understand like what Angela is doing there. I think that there was probably like, all Housewives dinners like last way longer than we think they do because they don't show everything. But I do enjoy the fact that like Kelly was like, you have a beef with everybody, Drew. Like. And she's like, what? Except Cynthia. Cynthia's like, why am I in it?
Yeah.
So.
But again, it seems like it's a fake beef, all of it.
Yeah.
That Drew has. It's like, it's not quite. I'd rather hear about everyone. I'd rather hear about Britt than Drew's beef with everyone.
I'll take Drew's phony beef over Britt any day.
Oh, yeah. Have to agree to disagree, aren't we?
I guess.
I don't care. But no, I mean, it's a good start to a good girls' trip, I think.
Right. It's a pretty location, a pretty place that they're staying at. There's lots to do, I'm sure.
They keep doing shots out of dentists, mouthwash cups.
I got that same cup, with the butter on the side of my pancakes this morning.
Was there the number underneath it for which room you're staying in?
Chunkies.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. That's
I am. Yes.
Down to. Like, it looks like they have some fun. They get all in their bikinis, go to a waterfall. That's what's kind of.
I love a waterfall.
Sort of housewife stuff. They chase some waterfalls. What do you think?
They might chase them.
They might chase them.
I love the classic housewife. I'm going to call out what you donated to my charity move that Shimi is going to pull on Britt.
Yeah, that's
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just as predictable and expected as them going on a boat, which I'm sure they must do. They must go on a boat. What if they don't go on a boat?
They have to go on a boat, like a catamaran. They have to get to that waterfall somehow.
They can hike there.
Child. We ain't hiking.
Also, Cynthia ain't sleeping in a twin-size bed.
No.
That was just like the minute she lost the arm wrestling. You're not putting a 6-foot-tall woman in a twin-size bed when Drew is all of 5'2".
If that.
Yeah. So, she's not Kelly. So
she's
taller than Kelly.
And Phaedra.
Oh yeah, Phaedra's pretty tiny as well. Yeah. So, I mean, good episode. Nothing major happened, but they're setting it up.
That covered everybody.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anything else going on?
With us or in the show?
Either way.
BravoCon tickets going on sale. They say on Friday, but I'm sure
there'll be like a Thursday
last time
sale thing.
Yes.
We got to make sure that we are on the ball because we are getting VIP tickets.
We are.
We're none of this waiting in line crap.
It's waiting in line.
We're not peasants.
Don't wait in lines. No. We go to the front of the stage.
Although maybe we did meet a lot of good people waiting in line.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
We got to come up with some merch, not necessarily just husband watching housewife merch, but just some good Bravo specific merch.
So we have stuff. We're not going to say it on the air.
Yeah, we have some ideas, but we got to follow through on that.
Yes.
Which I'm just horrible at following through. Also, self-marketing and all that stuff. Like we need to do that. Like we need to get not a business card, but something we could actually hand out to people.
Yeah.
Like, we have a podcast.
What's the thing? QR code.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to, spread the word. Let people know that we're out there. Same way you guys should spread the word,
Yeah, tell your friends.
Tell your friends, like, subscribe.
Tell your waiter. Tell your waitress.
Tip your service people. Tip them well.
Try the fish.
Let them lead the way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, this seems like a short one, but anything else we want to cover? Or
I think that's about it.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk more next time.
Till next time.